2 years ago yesterday, I celebrated 2 years walking and talking here in Indianapolis. So since then, I didn't think it'd be my full-time job, but people seem to enjoy them, and so I turned it into that. With the pandemic, with the unrest, with the protests, I wanted to tell a story that explained why everybody was so justified in their anger and how they felt at the time. And so I figured that if I told a story of Indianapolis that included everybody in there, they would understand things that have happened in this city that have led to things that are happening in the country in 2020. And so I did one walk and talk, just sharing history in Indianapolis on Indiana Avenue. And since then, I think I've done like 281 was today, I want to say. So really just my love for history, and then matching it with Indy's love for history, even though they may not know how much they like hearing about it, and someone's excited about it to share with them, then they become history fans, and that's what we love. Now we start with this military history. We start with Juneteenth, the Civil War.
Sampson does such a good job researching the history of Indianapolis and bringing full circle the information, so he was able to incorporate information we heard from Walker last year, as well as what we learned here with Fletcher Place and Fountain Square. And I just love the connection and understanding more history about our city.
To have a morning devoted to just learning about culture and the history of the city and sort of where we've been, and then also see where we can go. I think it's great that where everyone's allowed to put their work duties aside for a couple of hours and do this.
To know where you're going in the future, you kind of got to know what happened in history and in the past, to know the correct steps that were taken. So to know, especially this time of year with Juneteenth, going down here, knowing all the important things that happened in this kind of neighborhood is eye-opening.
Here you go. So it almost looks the exact same after almost 100 years here in the neighborhood. I love that so many people live in Fountain Square and Fletcher Place now, because the interstate runs under Fountain Square and Fletcher Avenue. The neighborhood bounced back. So as I walk and talk, man, I see people at coffee shops, I see people in their neighborhoods, I see people walking through the Fountain Square district.
I love the fact that Pacer Sports and Entertainment invest in employees, the fact that every employee has the opportunity this week to do this tour, to understand and have a better understanding of why we celebrate Juneteenth and the heritage and the history and the education behind that. And we have that moment, 2 hours today, to reflect on that history is critical and such an important piece of the culture that we have, and shows the dedication of our company to this community.
This is the best. It's one of the decisions why I came here, man. You can tell that diversity and inclusion is not just a statement for them. You can tell that it's something that they live by. So it just kind of reinforces every time we have opportunities like this on why I made the right decision to come here.
It's important because the more people that know about the history of their community, the history of their places and their spaces, the more easily they're able to influence in a positive way. And so the more that you start to know about Juneteenth, and you start to celebrate Juneteenth, learn about different cultures and people here in your city, you're able to bring light to different people and communities that you share the city with. And so whether you're a black person celebrating Juneteenth or a white person celebrating Juneteenth, it starts with education. And this tour is a great way to get people educated about Juneteenth, because we're talking about the Civil War troops, and Juneteenth is a Civil War holiday.